So let's create an standard flow and let's emit only one particle in the first frame. Let's keep the position icon, let's delete the rotation, and let's make this shape a sphere. Let's show the geometry. Let's change this integration step to half, just like the render. And let's make this quantity multiplier to show 100% in the viewport as well. And this shape here, let's make it a bit smaller, like I think 2 is fine. And let's place this icon where the lightning is coming from. In this case, I want it to come from out of my screen. So let's take a look here. And it's there. Okay, and that will be the base of my lightning. So first of all, let's create a force, a wind force. So we can, where is the wind? Here. And we'll create that electric effect using this wind. I want to keep this strength very low because we'll drive the direction of this lightning using a blur wind. This standard wind is just to get this electric effect. I want this turbulence to be 4 and the scale, I think it's 2. We can check it later. And I want this wind to be a spherical, and I want it to be on top of my icon here, the particle flow icon. So let's see what's going on. We have to add our force here. Let's add it here, and let's add our wind, and let's create the trail using a spawn test. And I want it to spawn the particles using the by travel distance option, and I want to keep it like 0.5. I think it's fine. I want it to inherit no velocity. And the scale factor, I want it to be a bit smaller. Like, don't touch the timeline now, or it will generate like a huge amount of particles, because it will like generate one particle every 0.5 like distance, and then it will generate more particles from these particles, and we don't want it. So let's send it to another event. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's fine. Now, just to make sure that those particles here that are in this event, let's change its color to a brighter blue, and let's keep this one a darker blue. Like this is fine. So we can see the difference. Let's keep it geometry here. And I think it can be a bit higher, this value here. Okay. Just to make sure that those particles will stay in place, let's create a data operator with 0 speed, because sometimes it kind of moves those particles even though it's to inherit none of its velocity. So I just drag a scalar just to create this value 0 here, and I will output it to its speed. And it's very simple, just have to connect it here, and you can organize it a bit better like this. And let's call it speed stop. Great. Now the particles will be in place, I'm sure. And now let's create okay, it doesn't really look really electric, so in order to make it, we have to add a drag force here. And let's put all those values here in 100%, so we can drag this force a lot here, and let's add it here. And now let's take a look. Okay, It's not looking good. I don't really want this speed. Let's replace it by a blur wind. This speed will set a velocity on the first frame, and on the other frames it will be controlled by the wind. And with the blur wind, it will keep continuously adding the speed, so we can control the direction of our lightning with this arrow here. This is the blur wind arrow, and I want it to go a bit like in this direction. Let's keep it here, and let's see what's going on. It's not good. The blur wind works like this. When the particle is created, it starts with 0 speed, and it keeps increasing its speed till it reaches this value here. And this viscosity will say like how long it will take to reach this value. If with low values like 1, it will take forever to reach the 100 value. And if we put like a higher value like 100, like 500, it will just in a few frames it will get this speed here. So let's change this from realistic to consistent colors so it looks better like a lightning. And let's change the lighting shadows. Let's turn off the shadows and ambient occlusion. Okay, now it looks much better like this. Let's make it increase this speed. 400 maybe. Yeah, it's looking much better. Let me just check this wind again. Yeah, it has some velocity, some strength. So let's increase it a bit, maybe 400. No, 450 looks fine. Okay, and I don't want it to go like this. I think like this is better. Let's create a first lightning. Let's just see our R&D again. First we have this first lightning, and we'll use it to practice a little bit, and then we use the same base to send another lightning to the school's direction. Okay, now we have this lightning, and I think we can make it like 3. Yeah. And now let's call this spawn here, let's call it spawn trail. And let's create another spawn on top of this one. Let's call it spawn branch. And let's make it spawn by travel distance. Let's take a look on this front view part, and we know that each of these grid squares have like 10 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's make it maybe travel spawn it on an 80. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, it's spawning there. So let's send this spawn here to, let's create another event so we can, let's use this blur wind and the wind and the trail. We don't want it to be an instance. And let's connect this spawn branch here. And now let's get this blur wind and select here assign selection to viewport, so we can select it here. And let's bring it to a bit to the other side. Let's change this color to green one, so we can. If you change the color of your particles, the blur wind will get this color as well. But you can untick this, and it will have its own color, but it's better like this because we can no, that's why you don't have to, you can't go with your timeline if this spawn trail is not connected there. So let's connect it here and let's check it. Okay, now let's change this from tick to geometry as well, and let's change this direction now. We need to go like this. Cool. And then we can make this branch here to be smaller, so let's change its scale factor to 75, 50. Yeah, I think it's go like this. And let's add a copy of this here. Sometimes it doesn't work because I think it never make it an instance. Sometimes this spawn doesn't work as an instance. Let's delete this. And let's see what happens. So let's make it 55. So you can see that we have like a branch there. And check it out, our particles are going like way faster when it reaches the 100th frame. That's because of this drag force here. It has a time off, so let's make it 1000 just to make sure that it will be on our scene forever. And let's check this out. Let's give it a variation here in this divergence, and let's increase its speed maybe. Okay, I think it's not going to work, so let's keep it like this. I think it's fine. Okay, now we don't want it, we don't need this lightning here to go forever, because it will have a lot of particles, unneeded particles. So as soon as it goes out of our screen, let's stop it. So on frame 110 is fine. So let's add a delete operator here. Maybe here. And it was 110 with no variation. So okay, it's working fine. And now this one here, let's delete it around the 140. So let's copy this, let's make it, okay, where it's burning. It's burning at 60, so 140, so it's 80. And have like 80 frames of life. But take care. Now those branches here are not being deleted because when in this spawn you have this restart particle age. So if you uncheck it, it will the particles that born from this one have like the same age, so it will be deleted together, as you can see. Cool. So you can you can do another branch from this one with another wind here pointing in another direction, and you can go like this forever. So let's create now another lightning, and let's make it go to the school. So press 6 and let's bring this event 1 here. Let's rename it just to keep it organized. First lightning trail. Now let's, in fact, let me show you something else. I want to keep this first lightning like for a long time here, but the second one I want it to kind of start disappearing. If you take a look at this one, it just goes fading away. So let's make it using a scale on the trail, and let's change it to relative successive. And what it does, if I decrease this value here, every integration step will decrease one of these size, like 1 unit size in our particles. So just take a look here, and our particles are getting smaller. But this first trail, I want to keep it there. So I want it to, let's make it like 99.9. So it kind of fades away, but it takes a lot. But this second one, I want it to go faster. So let's copy this one. Let's call it trail 2. Trail 2, it's in Portuguese. And let's connect this second here. And now let's make this one 99. Cool. As you can see here, you can see the dots, so we can make it a bit smaller, like 2.25. Yeah, it gets a bit better, but you can keep decreasing it if you want it. But the lower this value, more particles you have. Okay, now let's create the second trail. So, no. Let's copy this first lightning here to the side. Make it a copy, not an instance. Let's put this one here, and this one we'll keep using it. This one as well. So let's put this one here. Now I don't need the blur wind, and I want it to born, let me see, on 55. I think it's fine. So let's make it start on 55, end on 55, and just add one particle. Now let's connect this spawn trail here. Let's bring it this side and connect it here. This branch, I think it's fine like this. And let's see what's going on. Okay, it's there, but it's not looking nice. So let's add a fine target here. Now the particles will find this. Let's change it to mesh object and add our school here. Now the particles, now this lightning will go to the school direction. Great. Let's change it this direction a bit so it doesn't look the same as this one. Cool. Let's change this spawn here to a smaller value, like 55. So yeah, this lightning is fine. Now let's add spawn, no, collision spawn. Now when the particles collide with this school, it will generate more particles. But this school should be a deflector, and it's not here. So let's create a deflector, and let's create a universal deflector. Universal deflector means that you can put any object here So this object will be the deflector. Now we can add it here, and now our school is the deflector. So when it collides, it will delete the parent, and it will send the particles to another event. Let's create this event. Let's use the force. No, this spawn trail, the force, and I think that's it for now. Let's copy it here as a copy. Let's copy the force now. Copy. Let's connect the collision spawn here. Let's make it show the geometry. Let's change it to a brighter color like pink, so we can see where is it. Let's change this one here. In fact, let's change this first one here to an orange one, so we can different from this one. And let's see what's going on now. Just don't forget to connect this one here. Okay. I think it could go a bit faster. Let's increase our timeline. To increase our timeline like this, you just hold Ctrl and Alt and right click on the timeline, so you can go like this. Okay. As you can see, the particles are testing through when it hits the school, but it kind of getting mad there. So let's add lock bond, so it can keep locked to the surface, and it will travel around the surface, but it doesn't stay. If you use, like, let's use the lock to surface, and let's restrict it to the surface with no force on the position lock and no force on the rotation as well, just in case, so it can rotate freely. And it means that when the particles hit this surface here with the collision spawn, they will be sent to this event, and they can run freely on this surface, but it will not take off the surface. Only if you use the force, if you keep like the force 100, it will be stuck to 1 point. So let's keep it 0. And let's change, let's see what's going on now. Okay, so now let's add a speed by surface here, and with the speed by surface, the particles will get the speed based on the school surface. So I just added the school here on the speed by surface, and let's change it to control speed continuously. In fact, I want the speed by surface to be on top of this one, just in case. And let's change its direction to the parallel to surface. And with the lock bond, it stays locked there. Cool. Now we can hide this school here. We don't really need it anymore. We need it, but we don't have to see it. And as you can see, we can already see the school's shape. And now this force here, let's decrease this speed a bit, because it's going way faster. Too fast. I think 150 is fine. Yeah. And as you can see, it's not like too electric here inside. It kind of smoother. So let's increase this a bit, like, I don't know, just a little bit. This one. That's why don't make it. Just make sure it's not an instance from the other events. Maybe a bit more. Don't want to go too high, otherwise it can starts working weirdly. Yeah, I think it's fine like this. Now, here in this event, on this collision spawn, we are generating only one particle when it collides. But we can create like a lot more. So I think maybe 3 is fine. Cool. Some of them. So it's starting on frame. Let's add a cache operator here on top of everything. So, because but in this time our scene is getting slower, so let's add it here. Let's change this to, you can change to viewport and render. I'll keep it like this. And here on memory used, let's just add a few zeros and press enter, so it will find the full potential of your machine. So now we can just keep going like this. So now let's send a few of these particles to a new event. And let's change this event here so it can be controlled by this wind. So let's add age test. And now I'll show you a little trick. I don't want to send all those particles, just a few of them. So let's create really like high values here, like 400 with 400 of variation. So it will change those particles randomly between frames 0 and 800. This variation goes like from 400 lower and 400 higher. It's hard to explain, but like this, it would be like from 350 to 450. So since our timeline doesn't have, it's not that long, it will send just a few of the particles to this next event. So connect it here. That's the event that I create to the first branch, the second branch here. Let's call it last branch. And let's call this one no. Inside school. So we know what's going on. And let's call this one second lightning. Okay, for some reason it's not sending my particles to this event here. So let's make it 200 maybe. Okay, now it's sending a few of them. And I think it's cool like this. So let's start deleting those particles. So it's being, I think it have like 100 frames of life. So let's add a delete operator here. And let's change it to by particle age. Let's bring it to the first frame so it don't calculates anything with no variation. Okay. Now let's start and delete those particles here as well. In fact, they are being deleted. Nope. Let's copy this one here. Put it here. It's very important, this, where is it? This collision spawn, it's very important to be on top of this spawn trail. If it's like below it, it kinda, sometimes it has some unexpected results. Okay. And let's copy this branch here to this inside school event so we can generate more particles there while it's traveling inside the school. Okay, let's, here on the cache, let's clear the cache and update. Sometimes it gets some weirdly results. So as you can see, those green particles are not generating particles here because probably we have reached the maximum amount of particles of particle flow. So let's take a look on it. Option, particle count. Yeah, that's the maximum value here, as you can see. But instead of increasing it, let's try to delete some stuff, like this one when it reaches 80. Maybe let's decrease this. Let's put some variation here as well. A lot of variation, in fact. Let's check in the front view what's going on. If we have some particles like going out of our screen. Nope, 6. So here, that's the last branch, that's the school, inside school. Let's make it, in fact, let's bring it here. So I make sure that it's deleting those particles here as well. And maybe let's check this off. Not sure. Let's update it. Yeah, it's looking cool like this. So this trail here can leave a bit less, maybe 60. So let's make an overview of this so it doesn't get confused. That's what we have now. Let's turn off the display of the second trail and the first trail. Now I have all the particles. So on the first lightning, it's emitting this particle here, the orange one, and it's generating the first lightning. And when it reaches here on this spawn, when it travels 80 units, it releases, it spawns a particle and it's sending it to this event. I just renamed it to smaller branches because it looks better than last branch, because here it's not the last one. So it emits this particle here. This particle here is smaller because of this size factor. It's like 50% of the size of its parent. And Then on frame 55, the second lightning begins. And it's spawning a few more particles every 55 steps. And as you can see here, since we're not sending those particles to another event, the offspring stays here. And then this one just spawned this other one, even a smaller one. So we have like a lot of spawning in the same event. And then when it reaches the school that it's here, it spawns 3 particles to this event here. So just check it out. Check this bigger one here. When it touches it collides with the school, and it releases 2 more. In fact, it releases 3 offsprings and the parent is deleted. And because of the lock bond and the speed by surface, those particles are traveling around the school. And when those particles here reaches an age between 0 and 400, it's being sent to this event here, the green one. It's the same one that we're sending a branch from the beginning, the first lightning. I just renamed this one here. It was like seconds to the lightning. And now we can see that the green particles are being released in this direction. And then some of the pink particles are being deleted. And here it's kind of deleting all at the same time. So let's change this delete here. Let's create a variation like 40. And yeah, okay, it's looking better. So let's achieve this display so we can see better. We can now see our trails. And then the lightnings are getting smaller because of the relative successive that it's set to 99. Every time you work with this relative successive, you should take care of the integration steps, because it will increase or decrease the size of your particles based on its integration steps. So if it's different between here, the viewport and the render, you get different results when you render from what you're seeing in the viewport. So let's achieve this one as well. And let's check how many particles do we have here. So with the particle count activated here, we can see that's the maximum amount of particles that we have. 9, 12, 20, 30,000, 41, 42, 41. So we have 42,000 particles, and we can have a bit more. So let's see. Here, inside of the school, the particles have some distance between them. So inside of this event, inside school, here on the spawn trails, we can decrease this a bit. Let's make it 0.25. So now let's check how many particles we have. 46. Yeah. Okay, we almost reached 8,000 particles, but it works well like this. I think 100 particles would be enough, but it's pretty fine like this. So now that we really understand what's going on here, let's make the scene a bit more complex. So that's what we have until now. I'm working on expert mode. Just press Ctrl X and it stays like this. It's way better. And let's get rid of the depot here in the display, depot. And let's get rid of this description as well, so we have more space here. First of all, I want this lightning here to stay longer, as much as this one. So this one is the smaller branch, so let's copy this one here, make it in an instance. Let's connect this spawn branch here. Let's bring the timeline to the beginning. Let's connect this spawn trail. Let's bring this spawn branch to this side. And let's connect the spawn trail here. Okay, let's see. No. Okay, it shouldn't be happen. It's a cache problem. Cool. Now I want this small branch here to go in another direction. So let's create, in fact, let's forget about this for a while and let's give those branches here a new direction. So I'll copy this one here, make sure it's a copy, not an instance. And these spawn branches is the small branches that are being spawned from this one, but it's staying in this event. I want it to go to another event now. And don't forget to bring your timeline back when you're doing this. Otherwise it can, I don't know what's the word for this. And let's bring these spawn trails to this side, connect it here. I'll bring this down a bit. In fact, I'll bring this here. And let's select this blur wind, assign to selection here, and then we can select it here and bring it to this side. And let's rotate it a bit. Like here, I think it's fine. And let's check it. Update. See, now I have better branches here going in that direction. And it can get even better if we create another one, make it a copy, select this blur wind, assign selection here. Let's rotate it a bit more. Let's bring the camera back to its position. So let's change the color of this stuff. Let's make this one yellow and this one blue. Yeah, very blue like this. Let's connect the spawn branches here. Let's connect this spawn trail there. And let's change this step size here. Let's make it 34 maybe, and this one 21. Not sure if we should keep decreasing it. Okay, I'm not liking this here as well. Let's change it. In fact, I can't really see it if it's okay. Let's check on this view. Yeah, I think it's looking fine. Cool. Now let's see this stuff here. So it's from here. It's coming from here. Let's just make it. It's this spawn branch. Let's change it to 180. Yeah, much better. now I think it's very fine like this. Let's check again how many particles we have here. $80. Yeah. We can decrease this value a little bit. Just a little bit. And this branch here, let's connect this spawn branch to one of those here. I think this one. No. This one. Yeah, much better. So that's it. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching. Bye.